walking into the good old community college. Have to do some sort of like writing introduction for my online English class. I think basically we just have to, it's an exercise on how to find where we actually have to go to take the tests, and then also prove that we're a human being and not just, some sort of robot taking the test and you got to show them your ID and all that. But we weighed in at a new low today of, it was 167.2, which was very low. And I'm just, probably go back up to like 168 tomorrow, so we'll kind of have to see where that goes. But very happy with the progress of this cut. Like I said, got about a week or two left of it. If I could get down to 165, 164, that is very low. But that's kind of where I would like to be going into, my gaining phase. But I'll talk about more about my plans for, bulking up in a future video, because I've got some ideas and I think they're gonna work out well. But I'll take this, whatever writing introductory thing, and then I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. Climbing up this hill after leg day, no thank you. Finished up the writing, really no big deal. One page, just introducing ourselves to the teacher, which we already had to do that online, but we've got a pull strength workout later on today. I'm feeling so beat up and tired. Luckily, this week is a little taper, but it's gonna be a tough one. My back is so sore. I haven't been sleeping well at all, and I'm not really sure why. I've been having this problem where I'm like, right as I'm about to fall asleep, it's like I just forget to breathe. So then I gasp, and like that just wakes me up. And I was kind of doing some research on it because my mom told me I should probably, look that up because that doesn't sound right. And it's like sleep apnea, but normally sleep apnea is caused by, or for most people, an obstruction, in the airway. But this was, caused by neurological factors, which can be due to a lot of different things. But one of them was stress. I kind of have been stressed recently, trying to prepare for this vacation. Yeah, vacation shouldn't really make you stressed, but trying to double up on videos, double up on schoolwork. It's just a lot, and I get stressed pretty easily. And so my recovery just really hasn't been there. I'm waking up every day feeling like I got hit by a bus. But we'll talk a little bit more about, recovery in the actual commentary of the gym footage. So I'll see you guys there. So I'd like to talk about recovery, but before we get into that, what you're watching on the screen now is some heavy rows, 3 sets of 4 at 245 pounds. These were extremely sloppy. They felt so heavy, and that's because I've been pretty under recovered. So that brings us to the topic of recovery, and most people miss out on just how important recovery is when it comes to gaining strength and size. It is, I would say, in the top 3 of training variables, along with nutrition and just overall intensity of your regimen. So training and recovery should be looked at together in unison, because there needs to be a balance. So in the same way that we look at our nutrition as far as, calories in versus calories out. For instance, if we want to bulk up, we need to be eating more calories than we expend. We need to look at recovery in the same way. If we want to make progress in the gym, our recovery needs to be higher than our training, or rather the deficit in recovery that the training causes. So everything that we do in the gym puts us in a recovery deficit. So if we're, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being fully recovered without any training, that's our starting position. So we go into the gym, do our workout, and this puts us in a recovery deficit. So let's say it knocks us down to a 6. So in order to fully recover, we have to go back up to a 10, and that puts us just even to where we were. Now, if our workout intensity is above our ability to recover, we'll only, maybe go back up to an 8 or a 9, so it's going to put us in a farther deficit. Now, if our recovery is greater than our intensity in the gym, then we're going to super compensate and go to maybe an 11 or 12. And that's really the idea of training is, we start off on a 10, then we want to move to an 11 and a 12 and a 13 and work our way up, and that is us making progress. We're getting stronger, getting bigger. So if you're going into the gym and you are working as hard as you can, going crazy, you need to be applying that same effort towards your recovery. So this information is great and all, but what can we actually do about this? What can we do to improve our recovery, or at least improve that recovery balance? So the amount of recovery you need is going to be different based on the individual, based on a lot of different factors involved in your lifestyle. So training intensity is just one variable. There's also, going to come into play the amount of stress you have in your life, the amount of sleep you're getting per night, the, amount of nutritious foods you're getting in, the amount of micronutrients and macronutrients. The biggest factors are going to be, though, training intensity, sleep, and stress levels. So if you have a very stressful life and get very minimal sleep, then your training needs to scale appropriately. You can't be going in there and doing, 3-hour sessions, all sets to failure. You have to, make up for that recovery deficit by lowering your training intensity. So in certain situations, you can cater your recovery to your training intensity, but for some people, it's going to be smarter to cater their training to their recovery. Now, if you're somebody who, gets enough sleep, doesn't have that much stress, then you can kind of, play around with other recovery techniques to improve your recovery. So for stress, something like, meditation, or, just soaking in like a hot bath, just time to chill out. Obviously, eating healthier foods, trying to get a little bit more sleep, but then other things, such as stretching, foam rolling, ice baths, Epsom salt baths, massages, all these things can help with your recovery. So I hope this helped you guys kind of get an idea of the, very crucial balance between training and recovery, and how you can apply it to make better progress in the gym. But that's the end of the video, except for one little extra bonus clip at the end. If you liked the video, please like the video. If it helped you, please like the video. Also share it, subscribe, all that good stuff. But thank you for watching. So I ordered some Alphalete gear like 4 weeks ago, and every day I come home hoping it's gonna be here, checking the mailbox. Let's see if it is actually finally came in today. Well, somebody else may have gotten the mail. We'll check at home. Nope, still not here.